Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is Saturday. It is the 26th of December. So I am coming back today to show you what my stitching progress was today. I'm still reveling in a little bit of the Christmas spirit. My family's been in and out today. My husband took a big run and then took Coco for a lovely romp in the woods, and I finally did remember to add that footage onto the video that I uploaded today. But I wanted to go ahead and get a few days of little free stitching in before having to work on any of my WIPGO or bingo prompts. And so today I went back in and I pulled out my Christmas village ornaments, and I am working on the one with Santa Claus actually on the rooftop, which is this one here in the bottom corner. That's number 1 in the series, and it is full coverage, and so I am it is slow going for me. I'm not real fast on full coverage yet, but this is my progress today. I'm really tickled. I got a little bit of the sky was open here. I filled that in. I got all of this part of the roof minus the window and snow pile done. And I came down here and filled in one of the colors on the rooftop for this portion of the Victorian house. So I'm moving down probably into almost to the middle of the ornament now, and loving it. It is just beautiful. So I got roughly 275 stitches or so in it, almost 300, and then decided I'm gonna go watch a Christmas movie with my family, and that'll be the end of my stitching for today. But I hope you are enjoying your weekend, and I hope you're getting to stitch. So until I get a chance to say hello to you again, enjoy everything that you're working on. Happy stitching. Hi, how is everyone? This is Dina. Welcome back. It is the 27th of December. It is a Sunday night, and I'm here to give you a bit of a stitching update. I have been working on a couple of things. I've got an FFO to share with you that I have fully finished, and I have some stitching to share with you. This is Holy Night by Shepherd's Bush. It was a new start this December. And when I worked on it the first time, I stitched down to the end of this little scene here that was the town of Bethlehem. So when I picked it up this time, I decided to do the next section, which are the words here, the vine border or band in there, and then down to the bottom of the shepherds, the field of shepherds and sheep. So that happens to be halfway. So let me show you my progress that I got done today. And I started on this a little bit yesterday, and I've already had to roll it up. But I started here and I got all those words done yesterday and the vine and everything. And then today I came in and did this little flocks out on the fields. And so I'll need to roll this up even further, and then I can work on the next section. But this is the halfway mark for this piece, so I'm halfway done with that. So I contacted the custom bell pull makers, Patty Smith and her husband, and let me put something white behind this so you can see it. And they custom made this bell pull topper for me. Now this is obviously wider than I need for this by itself, so I'll have to really make it into a pretty wall hanging with a border of fabric on each side. And it will probably wind up being just about the right size when I finish it. Won't that be pretty? I'll put this back up here so you can see it. I think that'll make a lovely wall hanging, and I'm so looking forward to that. So when Patty put that in the mail for me, she included a personal gift. This is just amazing, y'all. She cross-stitched Coco. Isn't that precious? Oh, it's so cute. She quilted her backing and she put her name on it for me. Just absolutely precious. Got a little snowflake adornment here and a little ball. I think it's a little button, I'm not sure, to make the little end of his cap there. Isn't this beautiful? It's so cute. I just love it. Patty, thank you so much. I'm gonna have to message you. I just opened this right before I sat down to film this, so I haven't even had a chance to tell her thank you. All right, so now let me share with you my little FFO. I took my stitching time and I looked at all those bright colors and thought, what color frame do I want for this? And I decided that it was the green color to me that needed help being pulled out of the piece. And so I ordered the green frame. This is the Mill Hill frame that's made to go with these pieces. And I went ahead and popped this thing in there. And I'm really tickled with it. I think it looks great. And I think the green really pulls out all this green in the middle of the piece. It just sort of helps bring it to the forefront. So this was a very intricate, lovely, lovely design, and I'm glad to have it in a frame now. And I've got my little peg in the back. I used my point driver to put this in. I put my cross stitch on a piece of foam core backboard, pinned it in, and then when I placed it in here, I used my point driver just to put the back into it, and that's how I finished it with the little kickstand here, as I call it, and it sits right there on my desk. So I think that's a lovely, lovely piece. Well, I hope you have a great and wonderful week of stitching. I hope you start recovering from all the activities of Christmas, and I wish you a happy and healthy new year. Happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is the 28th of December. We are heading toward New Year's Eve now and marching pretty quickly. I just wanted to come in for a few minutes and let you know what I've been doing today. For Christmas, my husband gifted me Pattern Keeper. I have not been able to use it in the past because I didn't have an Android device. So my husband gifted me with a Android tablet, a small one, and but the exact size I asked for, so he wasn't on the cheap or anything. He did really well. I opened that up Christmas Day and said, yay, I can try Pattern Keeper. Well, I finally got my Pattern Keeper working today. And so today I was able to get a PDF copy of the pattern that had been gifted to me by Marlene, which is a real snow job, and it's the mini version. And I was thrilled to see that they had a PDF that was not only the mini version, but it was the same size pages, the larger pages, so that they're the same, because I had to transfer over everything I had stitched into Pattern Keeper to mark those stitches, and it was easier since they matched perfectly. So then I had to try it out. So I've been stitching my Haid today, and this is what it should look like when it's done. Isn't that just gorgeous? It's so pretty. I fell in love with it the minute that Marlene showed it to me. So when I put it into Pattern Keeper and saw how that was laid out, there is a function to do columns, or not columns, but diagonals, but I think it's over the whole pattern. So I just felt like page by page would probably be easier for me to learn. And so I went and saw the page marking for the first page, and I was about halfway through it. So today I spent time working on my paid, and as you can see, rather than doing a diagonal up this way, I just started with one of the first colors I came in contact with at one end or the other, and I mostly concentrated down here, but I did a little bit up there. And I've started working my way over to complete the second half of the page. So in my WIPGO board, I will just substitute the word page for diagonal. And my goal for this year on WIPGO, when this one is pulled, or when the number is called, is that I will finish this page. So that's what we've been doing, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Those of you who've said this was a game changer were not kidding. When I clicked on the symbol that I wanted to stitch next and use the search function, and all that lit up across that whole page, I could color complete across that whole page without any trouble. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to use this more. And this was one I used to pick up thinking, oh golly, this one's gonna be so hard to see. And it was one of those that I loved, but I hesitated to pick up because it took so much concentration. Today it was a joy, an absolute joy to stitch this. So I loved it. I thoroughly loved it. So I'm excited that I got to work on that today, and I appreciate you letting me share that with you. Now, I've had several comments on my channel about how much you enjoyed the tacky earrings that my husband and son gifted me for Christmas. So as a fun thing, I decided it would be nice to show you the earrings that they've gifted me over the years. And so today I'm wearing one of them, and I'm sure that you probably can't make that out, but if you can, it's actually the leg lamp from A Christmas Story. Yeah, leg lamp. This is the first pair that I'm sharing with you, and tomorrow, if I get to film, I will share another pair with you. I hope you're enjoying your holidays, and I hope you're getting lots of stitching done. And as soon as I have something else accomplished to share with you, I'll be back. In the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is December the 29th. It is a Tuesday. I am here to give you an update on my stitching progress for the day. I decided to reach back and bring out my birthday start. I didn't get to stitch on it quite as much as I would have liked to, and it is such a beautiful pattern. It's small and intricate and just lovely. And I was actually stitching virtually today with a friend of mine, Joanne from Canada, who gifted me this pattern for my birthday. And so I thought, well, what a better thing to stitch on than what she gave me. And so I worked on it while we stitched together this morning. Then this afternoon, when I got to stitch a little bit more, I picked it back up and I continued on it. And now I have stitched on it all day, so as much time as I could get. And believe it or not, I got a finish on it. So this is what the pattern looks like. It's a shepherd's bush pattern. And she gifted me the pattern and the little button pack to go with it. I think that is just precious, absolutely precious. So I decided I would show you my finish. This is my finish, hot off of my scroll rod. So when I got ready to do the buttons on it, two buttons were called for, the two hearts right up here to go with that beautiful top border. So I came on over here and put the little purple button here to sort of blend in and pull your eye to the purple in this plant. And then in the original piece, they had the little sheep button right up here under the T and stitch, and it's overshadowing the hearts. And I like the little hearts because it looks like they've been stitched. Because that looks like you've stitched the hearts, and then there's the thread and the needle. And I didn't want to cover it up, so I decided this little sheep needed to be down in the grass down here near these 3 sheep. So I moved it down there to go with the rest of them. And I like it there a lot. They also called for right here, this button was just a round button, probably the one I used up here. But in my pack of buttons, I had this little pink flower. And it's shaped very similarly to these flowers. So I put that there instead of the little round button. The red heart right here is where it was called for in the pattern. So I left it there. So I have 2 buttons here that were called for, and this heart that I put where it was called for on the sampler. And the others, I moved around or changed them out a little bit, made it my own, but I love it. I think it's absolutely precious. There is another finish for 2020. I'm so tickled. I thought I was really not able to finish anything else in 2020. So there you go. One more finish, and that's called the Stitching Notes. Precious, precious pattern. So I really like it. I wanted to just share my finish with you. Now I have something funny to share. These are 2 little reindeer in front of the or by a Christmas tree. It looks sort of like what you would see on a Christmas sweater, but yes, that is a bottle cap. So yes, I had been wearing a bottle cap earring. So that's the latest in my showing or sharing with you the tacky Christmas earrings that my family has gifted me over the years. That concludes my update for today. I'm gonna go get Coco and head to bed. It's kind of late, and I will hopefully have something at least to share with you maybe one more time. In the meantime, I hope you're enjoying what you're working on, and I hope you're getting some stitching time in during these holidays. Maybe you have some time off and you're getting to stitch a lot. I hope so. Anyway, until we talk again, happy stitching. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is December the 30th. And so let's address the most important thing first. These are one of the early pairs of tacky Christmas earrings that I was given. Yeah, I had to wear these all day. Anyway, I just wanted you to see what they look like, these little reindeer that flash. And so that it doesn't give you any kind of a episode like a epileptic fit or something, I'm going to turn them off. I think you can tolerate that a little bit better, but I had to give you the full effect. Well, I've been watching lots of planning videos and the year-end videos, and I have all of my stats gathered ready to share with you. I'm planning on doing that tomorrow on the last day of the year. And it's a good thing that I'm waiting to do that because I have to go adjust my numbers that I just pulled last week because I up and had a finish yesterday, which I shared with you, and today I had a new start. So this is a birthday present, and the reason I started it is because that birthday is in the very, very beginning of the month of April, and so I actually only have January, February, and half of March because I have to mail this present to get this done. So you can guess who it's for, right? It's my sister's birthday coming up in April. So Stephanie, you need to look away again. It's that time where I'm working on something for you that I don't want you to see quite yet. So everyone else, let me share with you my new start. Got this from the Creative Poppies, the Creative Poppy, and it's by Faby Riley Designs. Faby, F-A-B-Y, or Faby Riley Designs. And I am stitching this, but I'm stitching it on a different color of fabric, and I'm not going to finish it in this format at all. So I'll share that with you at a later time, how I'm going to finish it. But this is my start for today. And you can see the color that I'm using. I think that just makes everything just a different hue, you know. It's just softer, and I think it shows up beautifully. Pretty excited about it. Anyway, I'm hoping that I can stitch on it some more tomorrow and get a really good start. You can look back, Stephanie. Thank you. Well, enjoy what you're stitching. Wrapping up the end of your year. You have one more day of 2020, and then everything's new. You just look at it that way. Everything is fresh and new. I will let you get back to your stitching or your cleaning or whatever you're doing while you're listening to me. And I am going to get some sleep. And the next time you see me, hopefully, I'll have more to share with you from my stitching. But mostly, I'll have a wrap up for the entire year of 2020. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. This is my channel about cross stitch. And today I am here to give you a year-end report and give you a little more detail about my plans for 2021. And let's get started. Thanks for joining me today. First of all, just want to share with you what a great year I've had in a stitching way for 2020. So I love statistics when I am looking back to see how I did in the past year. Before we get started, I will comment on the jewelry. These are the last pair of tacky earrings that I intend to wear. I have one that's left, but when I told my husband what it was, he said, "Oh, those are everyday earrings. Those aren't Christmas." They're Waffle House earrings. If y'all are from the South, you know what Waffle House is. It's a breakfast place that serves breakfast 24/7, and it's delicious. We went there for breakfast this morning. Okay, I should have worn them today, and I could have worn them to the Waffle House. But these are the one of the first pair of tacky earrings that my son and husband got me. But these are just paper. They look like a craft that you could make with paper mache or just paper with his Christmas holly on his head. So cute. Anyway, yes, they're tacky. They're too big for me. They're everything. So if you can take me seriously with wearing these, that'll be a big accomplishment. So let's do look back at 2020 from my stitching and just see how we've been. Looking back over my journal, I can tell you that I've had 73 new starts this year, and I've had 71 finishes. Wow. That's pretty exciting for me. I don't even remember how many I carried over last year. I'm thinking it might have been 14. I can't recall exactly. But this year I'm carrying forward 15. And my latest finish was day before yesterday. And then I had a new start yesterday, which I've already shared on this channel. So that kept me at 15 to carry on. Of my carry forwards, though, I'm very pleased to tell you and I'm sorry for looking this way, but that's where I have my little notes written down. There are only 4 of the 15 that I started prior to 2020. Only 4. So I've done a great job of keeping up with and clearing out my older WIPs. And so the 4 that I'm actually carrying forward, the ones that weren't started in 2020 were actually started in 2019. So that's pretty great. I participated in 96 events in Facebook groups. Now, let me explain too. Those are separate events that are put up in like Stitch Mania or Cross Stitch Finish Line. I did not count in these statistics any of my prompts that I did in other groups like Facebook groups. I didn't count my prompts that I work on when I would say this was a prompt where, none of that is in there. I didn't put that in my sales or events. Those were just prompts I was stitching for, and so I didn't count them in here. And I got to thinking about it, how many of those that I do, and I don't have an easy way to go back and pick those up. So in the coming year, I intend to try to track those as well. And I will probably put another little section in my calendar for Facebook prompts, things that aren't events in a Facebook, but they're like WIPGO or Baringo that I'm doing this year. So I will try to capture that information for next year. But as far as events like, Cross Stitch Finish Line has an ABC sale where you work on something that has lettering on it. I always do that every month, or one in a series sale. I certainly stitch series this year, and so every month on the day that was the series sale, I would go ahead and stitch on one of the series pieces. And so every time I did that, I put it down in my journal and I counted them up, and I did 96 this year. I also went back and looked at Mania. I wanted to see how I did because this year was a blowout for me as far as how many starts I did. I began Mania with 11 WIPs, and I created 20 new starts in the month of May. I worked on every one of my WIPs on a day, and then on the other remaining 20 days of the month, I started something new. And I kept a list of when I started and what I started, and what I worked on every day. And so when I went back today and looked at it, there were 18 of those new starts in Mania that I finished this year. There are only 2 that are still hanging around. And you'll understand why when I tell you what they are. One is Gathering Eggs, which is a Mirabilia, and I haven't finished it. And the other is the Sheep Virtues remix that I'm doing for the second time. And I'm doing that, stitching it with someone else, and we're taking it nice and slow. And I'm not worried about when I finish that one. And so those are the 2 remaining new starts from Mania. Now, as far as the 11 WIPs that I had, I still have 5 of those. So I finished 6 of them that I worked on during Mania. But the 5 that I still have are Giggles in the Snow, my Haid, which I'll probably have for several years, Crystal Christmas, which I wound up deciding to put inactive until I finished Giggles because I didn't want 2 Mirabilia Christmases pieces, at the same time. My Sleepy Hollow, and my restart of the Nativity. I restarted that in Mania, and I will be working on that pretty quick here in January because it was one of my WIPGO numbers that was called. So isn't that great? I was wanting to concentrate on it and focus on it in January to get some progress on it, and it worked out beautifully. I'm just so excited about that. The other thing I thought was very interesting to me is as I was looking through my finishes, I just realized that there were designers in there that I had stitched for the first time this year. And so I decided to go through all my finishes in my journal and just count up how many new designers that I think I've stitched just this time for the first time. There were 28 of them. 28 new designers. So out of my new starts, out of my 73 new starts, 28 of those were people that I had not stitched anything they had done before. And so I was introduced to 28 new designers this year. And that is a great accomplishment to me. I think, you know, been stitching as long as I have, and I'm still finding new people and liking what they're doing. And so that's exciting. So I guess you could say I feel like I've had a stellar year. It's been fun. Thank you for coming along with me. Thank you for letting me share my progress with you. So I feel really, really good about my accomplishment in 2020 as far as stitching. And now I'm looking ahead. 2020, as of today, is over. So looking ahead, what can you expect out of Dina for 2021? Well, I've kind of given you some hints and a little bit of my plans up until now. And so basically, I'm going to be doing WIPGO. I'm going to be doing Baringo or other pop-up challenges possibly from that monthly magazine challenge Facebook group with Zizuk Stitch and her good friend Robin, and looking so forward to that and getting to know people in that group. And then I will have possibly other events, you know, from my other Facebook groups. I'm watching for them to start posting them. I keep looking every day to see if they're out there yet, so I can put them in my planner and note what date those events are, so I can try to work them into my schedule. But I think this year my primary focus is going to be WIPGO and the monthly magazine challenges, at least for the acrostics, maybe some of their pop-up things, and then the 24 hours of cross stitch. I'll be doing that acrostic every month, and I'll be trying to participate in all of the 24 hours of cross stitch events. So that's what you can kind of look for from me. But my idea now is to go through and tell you what's in my grid, you know, what projects I'm going to be focusing on and what new starts that's going to mean. I pull from Mania what I had planned for Mania, and I go ahead and start early because they're on my WIPGO board. I didn't have 25 things to put on my WIPGO board, so I decided to make a combination of what I already had started and what I would be starting in Mania. And it didn't dawn on me that they could be called way before May. I didn't even think about it. And sure enough, the very first number out of the gate is Easter Peep. And I haven't started it yet. It was for Mania. So I have decided that when those get called, I will go ahead and pull them forward and get them started. All right, let's get started on my WIPGO board. I'll just take them in order because in WIPGO, you do them in order. So in spot for number 1, I have Pandemic. I'll insert a picture here of where I will be starting from. In Pandemic. And my goal for Pandemic is to put 10 hours in the month that it's called, or from that point forward. So I may work on Pandemic all along before I get that number called, but I'm not going to count those hours toward the 10 until the number is called, because I really want to give it that push when it becomes available. The second spot on my WIPGO board is Dog Lessons for People, and I'll remind you, this is a new start for me, and my goal is to do 1 complete line. So it will be a new start for me, and so I will start here and work all the way over to here, and that will be the accomplishment for that square. Then the third project that I will have on my board is my Hade. It's a real snow job. This is my Hade. And I just worked on this because I just got Pattern Keeper, and I've raved about it already, so I won't go into that now, but this is where I'll be picking up from. And my my goal was to complete one diagonal because I was doing diagonal stitching in each page. And so now instead of completing a diagonal, I'm actually color completing on the page because I can see it all in Pattern Keeper. And so I will just change that goal to be to finish one page. So that's going to be a big, big challenge to do. Number 4 is Mice in the Sewing Room. Again, this was going to be a new start in my mania. There we go. And my goal for this block number 4 is that I have to complete a whole mouse. I have to get the entire mouse stitched, one of them, whichever one I want to start. My 5th space will be a WIP by then because tomorrow it's my new year, new start. And it is the Crabapple Tree by Rosewood Manor. And this is what that looks like. Now I have a huge goal on this one. I'm not sure why I did this to myself, but I wanted to finish an entire season, which is an entire square on this thing. Yeah. This I am doing on the fabric that was gifted to me with the pattern from my friend Marissa. Isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. I cannot wait to get this started tomorrow. So it will already be a WIP, and I don't know how much I'll get to stitch on it tomorrow, but to get it started. But then I'll at least have it started before that number gets called, and I may be working on it, you know, some all along if it takes a while for that one to be called. I'm gonna put that over there because I have to start it in the morning. So number 6 is one of the ones that's been called for the month of January. And this one, again, was going to be a Mania start. And so I had to pull it out of my Mania basket. And this is, I'll remind you, this is what Easter Peep looks like. And I'm doing mine on a remnant of Summer Skies. And so mine will be in the blue. And I may have to change the color of the scarf in that one just to make it fit a little bit better on the blue, but I just think it will look lovely on there. I'll do a floss toss just to make sure. Number 7 for me is a WIP. It's Winter Quaker. I'll insert a picture to show you where I'll be starting from on Winter Quaker. And my goal there is to finish one row across. To wherever I'm at in the row, in the pattern, I want to finish the motifs all the way to the end. And that could be quite a bit of stitching. So the next one on my WIPGO board is another Mania, was going to be a Mania start, and it's called Stitching Bird. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's a heart and hand. Isn't that cute? And this one's goal is a fully finish. So this one I have to start and finish before I can consider that one complete. Chocolate Bunnies. It's number 9. And this is a beautiful hands-on design. Life needs more chocolate bunnies. Isn't that precious? Again, this one, the goal that I have on my board is a fully finish. So I would have to fully finish that to be able to count that square as well. You know, I've done the autumn arbor and I used it to decorate my mantle this autumn and it was so pretty. But this is the winter arbor. And my husband gifted me the silks for this one at Christmas in a batch of threads that he gifted me for my projects for next year. My goal on this is to complete one row. So since it's a new start, my row that I will complete will be that header right here, the top border is what I would be working on. And I would have to get that completely done to consider this one, you know, the goal met for that one. And then I could put it back in my Mania pile if I wanted to. Okay. The next one that I have for number 11 is called Santa Berry Pudding, and I'll put in a picture and show you where I'm at on that. And my goal for that is to do one band. I will reserve the right to pick whether that band means just the words or whether I do the whole thing, depending on when it's called and what else I'm working on. So my next one, it was in my Mania pieces as well, and this is dogwood lace. And what I want to do is finish a row on it. So I would start the border and I would stitch this whole border all the way across. To me, that would be a row. I would not necessarily come down in here and start on all those flowers, but I would at least do this border portion all the way across to meet that goal. My next space is free space, and it's already been called for January. So I have a space marked out already as complete, and it's not even January yet. I love it. Okay, space number 14 is a whip, and it's my mermaid, and I'm actually have a huge goal on that because I haven't been able to work on it very much. I want to finish 1/2 of the border, which means for me, the top and one side down. That's what I'm looking at having finished. Now, and when I say stitch it, I mean the cross stitch in it. I don't mean beads, and I don't mean any specialty fibers like Krynic or anything, because I always do that toward the end of the piece. But the cross stitching of the border, I would want to do across the top and down one side to be 1/2 of the border. And that's what it would take for me to meet that. Number 15 is also a current whip. It's called Gathering Eggs. It's my Mirabilia, and I will put in a picture to show you where I'll be starting. And my goal there on Gathering Eggs is to stitch 10 hours on it after it's called. And so that again will depend on when it gets called. Number 16 is Crystal Christmas. And I'll put in a picture there to show you where I left off when I put it to bed for a while, for a nap. I'm going to stitch 10 hours on that when it's called. And that hopefully will kickstart it a little bit for this year. I'm hoping to finish Giggles in 2021. And so as soon as I finish Giggles, I'll pull this one in as my Christmas Mirabilia that I'm working on. And so whenever that space is called, that'll give me a push to get it started. If Giggles isn't finished yet, it'll just be a little head start. Number 17 is my remix of Little Sheep Virtues. And I have a small goal on it compared to some of the others. I want to stitch one block. And that'll complete just one of the virtues. And then my number 18, which was called for January, is the Nativity. And I'll put a picture in as to where I am there. And my goal for the Nativity is 10 hours of stitching. So in January, as of tomorrow, when I start stitching on Nativity, I can count the hours toward the 10. And once I hit 10, I will have met that goal. Number 19 is Sew Together. So I've been collecting the Sew Together pieces. And so when this one comes up, I get to pick whichever one I haven't stitched. I've only stitched one of them, which is Scissors and Threads. And so I can pick any one of the others that I have in my collection here and get it started, because it was going to be a start for Mania. And this one says that the goal is 5 hours. The next one is called Block Party, and it was a Mania start, and it's a beautiful hands-on design. push that out of the way a little bit. Y'all know what that is. You've seen it. I've never done one of these blocks. These are the pins to go with it. I've already purchased those, so I would have them. So, block party, 5 hours on that. My next one is called Field Mice. And it was going to be, it's number 21 on my WIPGO board. And it was going to be a Mania start as well. And that's what it looks like. Now, my goal on that, again, is to finish one of the 2 mice, which I'm guessing for me to start this, I would probably start, I don't know, I normally start up here, you know, and I would have to do this all the way over to get to the mouse. But if I start down here, I have to do all of this shoe, part of the shoe here, at least to outline it to get to the mouse. But outlining it might be the easiest way to do it. So anyway, thank you for letting me think out loud as I'm sitting here talking. But that one I would have to start and then get a whole mouse completed to make that work for my goal. Number 22 is Giggles in the Snow, and I want to put 10 hours in it. So again, I won't start counting that 10 hours until it's called, but I'll be stitching on it possibly each month if I get a chance to. My idea is that I would do my WIPGO first. As soon as the number's called on the 27th, I would plan on the 1st of the month to start working on my first WIPGO project until I hit that goal. And then work on the second WIPGO project till I hit that goal. If I can, if it's one of those where you can do it 5 hours or 10 hours, then I would do that and be accomplished with that. If it's where you have to finish a piece, then I might work on it and just put it in my rotation until it's done, because you do have a year to get it all done. Number 23 is Hello Winter. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful plum street. Many of you have done this. I won this pattern on a giveaway from a floss tuber, Debbie from Creatively Yours. And so I'm so excited to get to start it. It had been slotted to start in Mania again. And now because of my WIPGO, I get to pull it forward. And this one is another one that I set 5 hours as my goal for my WIPGO board. The next one is my Autumn Bell Pull, and I'll show you a picture where I left off on that. It is a current WIP, and I have set a goal to finish a letter. Now, right now, I'm still on A. I just got started on the thing, and I can't seem to get it finished. So if I haven't gotten a chance to stitch on it before it's called, it will be to finish the A. But if I get to finish the A before it's called, then I'll move on to the U, and I'll have to do a whole letter. So there you go. My last number, number 25, is Holy Night by Shepherd's Bush, and I have on it to completely finish that pattern. Now, I will tell you, I've been stitching on that during Christmas, during the holiday season, and I have fallen in love with it. It is so precious. It's a small, narrow piece, and it has words, and then it has a little picture, and then it has words and a little picture. I only have, I think, one more section or maybe 2 to finish it. So that one should be a fairly easy one to accomplish when I get to that goal. So that is my WIPGO goals. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great fun, and I'm looking forward to getting started on it tomorrow. So after my New Year, New Start. It may be the 2nd of January before I get started on WIPGO, simply because I have a New Year, New Start. Now I want to talk to you about the Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Pop-Up Challenge. It's a January bingo. It is 1 month only. You have 1 month to do this one. And they have given you prompts. They gave us 25 prompts, no free space in this one. And you got to pick where you wanted to put each prompt. So for everybody, wherever they put number one, the number one is a magazine new start separate from your January themed new start for the monthly magazine group. So that means you have to do another magazine start that month, and they want you to do 2 hours work on it. Well, I have a big question mark on mine because I haven't picked out a new magazine start, and I'll have to decide if I want to go after that one, because in this board, my number one, I wound up placing right here. So if I go for a bingo here, 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 or here, or here, I don't have to have that one. So I may or may not do all of these, but I'm going to try to get a bingo in what I do. So what I'm going to tell you now is everybody got to put the numbers of the prompts wherever you wanted to. So everybody's board may be different. My one is here. Your one could have been up here or down here. Some people used the random number generator to place them. I just picked a spot here and then moved over here and then moved over here and then moved over here and just kind of spread them out without looking at what they said. And then I put my whips in there based on the prompts. I haven't seen what the other prompts are for any of the other groups to see what I can get to work together. And I can't just take these bingo boards and put them on a schedule because I don't know when the numbers will be called. So that kind of makes it a challenge. It's fun. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I'm going to be working on, that I'm sure I'm going to be working on. I do have several more Mania new starts picked out that I hope to get to start in Mania if I wind up having enough spots to have any new starts. If I have all these new starts through the year and don't finish all of them before May, then they may take up, my whips may be the largest portion of my Mania. So that may be a whole different ball game this year. Well, this is fun. I guess you can tell I'm pretty excited about it. And I love the fact that I am excited about what I'm going to be working on next year. I hope you are. And if you're not a big planner, that's okay. If you're the type of person who likes to stitch what you want to when you wake up that morning and that works for you, then that is great. You do the process that resonates with you, because this is your hobby. This is something that is meant to be joyful and something, that gives you pleasure. So don't see those of us who are big planners, because that's our nature, and think you're supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be like you are. So give yourself permission to do that. But I appreciate very much you listening, to my plans and letting me share with you, what I've thought of and how I've come about deciding to do what I'm doing. And that's fun for me. I am having startitis again. I have been struggling with wanting to start all the things. So having the WIPGO board provide me an opportunity to start some of these Mania projects that I had earmarked for Mania early is a real bonus. I really like it. I don't know if you're supposed to do that or not, but I didn't have 25 whips at the time. And so I just decided I would put some of those new starts in because I want to start new things, and this gives me permission to do that throughout the year. And if I've already started them in Mania, then they'll be whips by the time they're called, if they're called after Mania. So it doesn't matter. It's your board. You do what you want, right? I'm taking that to heart, Jessie Marie. I hope that's okay. Well, everyone, enjoy your the end of the year, and Happy New Year to everyone, and happy stitching.